All right, let's talk about something that might just change how you look at your skincare routine forever. It turns out it's not just about what ingredient is in your serum, it's about the form it's in. And that, right there, is where the real science and the real results actually kick in.
I mean, have you ever had this happen? You get super excited about a product with some buzzy miracle ingredient, you're expecting these incredible results, and instead you just get redness, irritation, sensitivity. It's so frustrating, right? Well, a lot of the time, the real culprit isn't the ingredient itself, it's the form it comes in.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. On one hand, you've got what are called ionic or salt forms. These are super common, but they're also highly reactive. Think of them like a blunt instrument. They're kind of aggressive, and they can actually suppress your skin's natural functions, which is exactly why you get that irritation. But on the other hand, you have colloidal forms. Now, these are like a sophisticated, smart delivery system. They're gentle. They work with your skin, not against it. They regulate and support instead of just shutting things down. It's a totally different ballgame, a much more harmonious way to treat your skin.
And that is what we're calling the colloidal difference. Seriously, this isn't just a marketing buzzword. We're talking about a core principle of physical chemistry here. The science of how stuff actually behaves. And it completely changes the game for how an ingredient interacts with our skin.
So what is a colloidal system anyway? Well, it's not as simple as, say, dissolving salt in water where it just breaks apart. Instead, I want you to picture these incredibly tiny metallic particles, and they're not dissolved, they're perfectly suspended, stabilized within a liquid. It's this super stable structure that's the key. It stops them from being all reactive and aggressive, and that's what makes them so gentle.
Right. So, because those little particles are held stable, you don't have these aggressive, free-roaming ions just bouncing around causing chaos and irritation. And that means the ingredient can do its job physiologically, working in harmony with your skin's biology. It can gently regulate things without damaging your precious skin cells.
Okay, that's the theory. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. We'll start with our first case study, copper. Now, when copper is delivered in its colloidal form, it becomes this amazing engine for skin regeneration. We all know about collagen and elastin, right? They're the building blocks that keep our skin firm and bouncy. Well, it turns out copper is a key microelement that helps make them. It acts as what's called a cofactor, which is basically just a helper molecule for the enzymes that build those proteins. The magic of the colloidal form is that it can deliver that crucial support without all the irritation you might get from, say, traditional copper salts.
So here's the play-by-play. First, that colloidal copper gets in there and kickstarts the whole process of making new collagen and elastin. And it does this deep down, which is key. This helps improve the skin's density, its whole structural integrity, from the inside out. So what you see on the surface, visibly firmer skin, better tone, more elasticity, that's the result of a true regenerative process. It's not just a temporary surface-level fix.
And you know what's even cooler? This effect gets even better when it's paired with other awesome ingredients. Take niacinamide, for instance. You've got the colloidal copper working deep down on regeneration, and at the same time you have niacinamide up on the surface, strengthening the skin barrier and evening out your skin tone. It's this amazing synergy, right? You get these comprehensive, multi-level benefits for your skin's total health.
All right, let's move on to our next case study, silver. Now, when you hear silver in skincare, you might think of something harsh, like a strong antibacterial. But in its colloidal form, it's a completely different story. It becomes this really sophisticated regulator for your skin's entire microenvironment.
Yeah, it's not a sledgehammer that just wipes out everything, good and bad. It's much smarter than that. Think of it more like a gentle conductor for an orchestra, It calmly helps create this stable, healthy environment where your skin can just thrive. It's all about reducing that background inflammation and calming sensitivity.
And this is what I find so fascinating. It gently regulates your skin's microbial balance, so it dials down the bad stuff, but without totally nuking your skin's healthy, good bacteria. Plus, it helps calm that constant, low-grade inflammation we all get from stress and just life. By doing that, it creates this perfect protected little bubble where your skin's own natural repair processes can finally get to work and do their thing.
And just like we saw with copper, colloidal silver is a total team player. When you combine it with a powerhouse antioxidant like glutathione, what you get is a complete defense system. The silver basically creates this calm, balanced canvas, which then allows the glutathione to do its job even more effectively, protecting your cells from all that damage from free radicals.
So, when you put all this together, what do you have?
It's way more than just a cool new type of ingredient, right? It's actually a whole new philosophy for how we should be thinking about and approaching our skincare. There's this quote from the source material that I just love because it nails this shift in thinking perfectly. We're looking at a scientific instrument for dermal regulation, not a cosmetic product. See? We're moving away from products that just kind of mask the problem, and we're moving towards intelligent tools that actually help regulate our skin's own biology. It is all about working with our skin, not fighting against it.
And that really is the ultimate goal here. It's about getting beyond the temporary fixes, the surface level stuff. We're talking about the long-term, physiological restoration of your skin's health and balance. It's about building a strong foundation of resilience that's actually going to last.
So I'm going to leave you with a final thought. Now that you understand this science of delivery, you're empowered to make way smarter choices. The next time you pick up a product and look at that ingredient list, I want you to ask yourself a new question. Don't just ask what's inside, ask how it's being delivered. In what form is it? Because as we've seen, that answer, well, it just might change everything for your skin.